Bob Marley penned some prophetic and resonating words that line social issues right across the globe. It's Human Rights Day, and one of his universal tunes reverberating the idea behind today's observance: get up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Seems quite fitting. Beyond his legacy, Jamaica continues to push the idea of human rights through our legal systems, childcare sector and other areas. I love the development taking place, and I also love that I get the chance to share some of those with you today. Thank you so much for meeting me here again for another Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and our details of Jamaica's strategic journey to reducing inequality starts after the news.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JI's News for Friday, December 10. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is asserting his administration's commitment to maintaining and advancing democracy in Jamaica. He was making a statement to a virtual summit for democracy hosted by U.S. President Joe Biden. Mr. Holness says democracy is a commitment by the state to respect the will of the people every day and to meet their needs, adding that Jamaica is proud of its 76 years of universal adult suffrage and uninterrupted elections of governments.
Democratic countries must therefore continually improve citizen security, increase access to education, health and economic opportunities, reduce inequality, protect human and environmental rights and diversity, improve anti-corruption frameworks, and maintain the rule of law. Jamaica continues to work in each of these areas.
The Prime Minister says the global community of democratic nations needs to actively promote a multilateral system that fosters fairness in trade, protects the planet, and guarantees the security and human rights of the people of the world. This, he argues, will support the collective ability of governments to deliver and therefore support the preservation of democracy. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke says Parliament's approval of regulations to govern the nomination, selection and appointment of boards for public bodies represents a seminal move towards achieving good corporate governance within these entities. The motion was approved in the House of Representatives on Tuesday and will now go before the Senate. There are approximately 146 public bodies, 54 of which are self-financing entities with revenues exceeding $325 billion per year.
So public bodies have significant responsibilities. With this level of revenues and this level of capital expenditures, public bodies have significant procurement and contracting responsibilities. We depend on the boards of public bodies for governance and stewardship that oversees the preparation of their budgets and their corporate plans and the achievement of public policy objectives.
Minister Clarke says the Financial Secretary will be responsible for the creation of a database for prospective directors and will have overall responsibility for its administration. The database will be established within the Finance Ministry and will be an electronic system. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has unveiled the final design for the upgrading of the Spanish Town Hospital. It was displayed at the Ministry's virtual open house and exhibition held on Wednesday at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. The hospital is being upgraded under the Health Systems Strengthening Program.
The hospital will receive the largest infrastructure works for this particular project. New building encompassing the construction of a 6-story modern facility with an estimated area of some 17,633 square meters, which will include several points of access for staff patients, a basement, you saw that, car park and access, a skywalk to link the existing wards.
The health minister says government has committed between $200 and $236 million or 27 to 31 billion Jamaican dollars for the build-out of 13 facilities across the island as it advances the 10-year strategic development plan for the public health sector. The program is receiving funding support from the Inter-American Development Bank and the European Union.
Our support of grant funding of 10.2 million euros will contribute to reducing the negative effect of non-communicable diseases.
The IDB congratulates the Ministry for the progress to implement the health system strengthening program, and it will continue providing the necessary support to reach the goals.
The Jamaica Railway Corporation, JRC, now has 2 trains ready to begin the operation of a school train transport system. Acting General Manager of the JRC, Donald Hanson, says the trains will operate under a cashless system.
So far, we are ready to roll. We have 2 trains in operation that can take children from Old Harbour, pick up students along the route, bring them to Spanish Town, and so from Linstead to Spanish Town. We're going to have about 3 stops from Old Harbour and about 2 from Linstead.
The JRC will also partner with the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, which will take students from the train stations to the various schools in and around Spanish Town. The JRC is assuring the public that all COVID-19 protocols will be strictly observed, as the move forms part of the government's thrust to transform the local transportation sector. And finally, Clarendon is now operating with an additional 37 Justices of the Peace who were commissioned into service on Wednesday. Portfolio Minister Delroy Chuck says all 37 JPs can function in any parish under the updated Justice of the Peace Act and with the newly designed JP seals.
You will find that previous Justice of the Peace have a seal that says JP of Clarendon. That doesn't stop mean that the seal is out of date. It will in due course will be replaced. But you have got the new seal that says Justice of the Peace of Jamaica.
He says the ministry intends to establish individual JP parish associations to facilitate regular meetings of Justices of the Peace. The new batch of JPs joins the more than 600 who have been commissioned into service since the start of 2021. And that's it for JI's News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
One of life's unfortunate and simple truths is that access to justice isn't so accessible for all. Here in Jamaica, we're standing in opposition to that narrative. Our legal aid clinic has been working overtime to improve access to justice for all Jamaicans.
Yeah. All right, yo, may I make a call?
Hello?
Yeah, Jen, auntie, just get a call from the station here. Them lock up Johnny.
Lord have mercy. So where them have him there for?
Some gun business in a taxi and them
keep
something.
myself out of trouble. Business not even not going too right. Oh God.
No, man, you not worry about money. No. You can go to a legal aid council, them have a list of lawyer where, well, let them provide it free.
All right, me love.
Yeah, man, just go down there and talk to somebody.
We will meet you there in a little while.
Johnny's case is one of some 3,000 for which the Legal Aid Council makes duty counsel representation each year. The Duty Counsel Service provides for free legal representation from a lawyer at the police station for persons arrested, detained, or remanded. The assigned counsel will visit the person in need and provide help at the various stages: the lockup, identification parade, interrogation, and apply for station bail or bail by the court. Lockup visits and bail application are free of cost and require no application form. Everyone has the right to justice through the country's justice system, even if they cannot afford the cost for legal services. The Legal Aid Council has been ensuring this restricted access to justice, and lawyers assigned complete hundreds of some 1,500 court cases annually, benefiting hundreds of children and adults. Legal aid is the system that provides legal representation for Jamaicans who can ill afford to pay for this service whenever they come in conflict with the law, thus ensuring access to justice for all persons without financial barriers. The organization established to support these services is the Legal Aid Council. The Legal Aid Council, a statutory body within the Ministry of Justice, governs the legal aid system. For court representation, the Legal Aid Counsel or the court office completes an application form on behalf of the client and assigns a lawyer to represent the client until the end of the matter. All attorneys assigned court matters are private attorneys required to vigorously defend the right of the client, take full instructions from the client, advise the client, and ensure the best outcome on behalf of the client. Cases involving murder matters only require assigned attorneys to have 10 years' experience or more. Where a defendant requires DNA, handwriting, or other specialized expertise to advance their case, the Legal Aid Counsel will undertake the cost for a client unable to afford these professional services. While the Legal Aid Counsel provides full representation in court for clients with criminal matters, the Counsel only provides consultations on civil matters before determining whether the individual can afford legal representation. Thereafter, the Counsel provides an attorney to assist with a court matter. The duty counsel representation from the point of arrest to the first court appearance is free and it does not require the completion of an application form.
There are two main ways to access legal aid for criminal matters. One is the duty counsel stage. This is where a person has been taken into police custody and you're entitled to a lawyer, no application to fill out, no contribution fee to make from the moment you are taken into custody until your first court date. That is duty counsel. The officer has a duty to call duty counsel. Every station should have a list of the duty counsel available. If they don't, contact the legal aid counsel for an up-to-date list. If it's a family member that comes to the legal aid counsel or the clinics, if the person is in custody, not charged, no application form, no fees. The counselor or the clinic makes a call wherever the person is to an attorney who has his office near to that location and assigns the attorney. The attorney at the end of the matter sends in a claim to us. So the client makes no payment to the attorney.
Good morning. Thank you for calling the law firm of Stone and Brighton. How may I help you?
So the duty counsel is mandated to ensure that all the rights set out in the law for question and answer are observed for you as a citizen. All the rights and protection surrounding ID parades are maintained. Additionally, if the lawyer observes a child, any person under 18 being held at an adult lockup, that lawyer must make an application for the child to be removed to a juvenile facility. So that's the duty counsel stage. For the court aspects, if the judge observes that the person is without a lawyer, the judge will invite the clerk or assistant clerk to interview the person and grant legal aid. So the citizen is protected at every stage. At the duty counsel stage, some people would have been released after the ID parade, released after the question and answer. But for those who have been charged, you're entitled now to a lawyer to represent you during the trial. For that, there's an application form that the court would fill out or the legal aid counsel or a clinic would fill out. And you may be asked to make a contribution. But the person who is not able to make any contribution will be granted help. If the means test shows that at the time you're not able to pay anything, then it would be zero contribution. So it is designed in a way that it helps rather than it obstructs. The client will basically be stating whether they have any income and any expenditure, the bills they have to pay, number of children that they have to support, etc.
The Legal Aid Counsel pays the private lawyer for his or her services to the legal aid client at the completion of the matter. If the client can contribute towards the process, they make payments at any branch of Scotiabank and not to the lawyer.
That contribution, there's no deadline on it. If the person says at the next month end, we are flexible. What we find now is that more Jamaicans are now able to approach the court, and whether funds are there or not, whether unemployed or not, they now can approach the court being represented by counsel. So a lawyer is there to put forward your defense, to speak on your behalf. And we have helped persons who were convicted. And in fact, in one instance, we provided a DNA report at the appeal level, and we were successful.
The council continues in its bid to reach more persons in need across the country using a Justice mobile unit acquired through the Citizen Security and Justice Program and its international partners. The unit has been taking the service to some 50 communities, particularly in rural Jamaica and the inner city yearly.
Human rights is also a necessary commodity that must be accessed by our children. And that vision is being facilitated by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. Through its latest initiative, the CPFSA is advancing the rights of children who are victims of abuse. Here are the specifics.
One of the biggest threats, and I speak in the context of being an MP who has 3 children's home and has personal experience, one of the biggest threats to Jamaica today is child abuse. The good thing is that we are on our way to improving it.
And the latest improvement is happening in the form of a helpline, one that's free, accessible 24 hours daily, and is easy to remember. The 211 helpline to report child abuse is now in effect. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency CPFSA has renewed its efforts to have a 3-digit telephone number to replace the existing 10-digit line 888-PROTECT, assigned to the National Children's Registry, the NCR. The NCR operates as the main point of contact for persons making reports of child abuse, neglect, and missing children. It also handles reports of child trafficking, which is handled by the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons, NATFATIP. But why was it so important for this renewed call to take effect, and why now?
We have always thought it would be easier if we have a 3-digit number that children could easily remember. Now, in 2020, when we were all affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw a significant reduction in the number of reports coming in. We did not believe that it was a case where children are not being abused because, most abuse takes place in the homes. So we wanted to reach out to children. At that time, we were pushing our WhatsApp line. We were saying to children, if you feel unsafe, if you feel at risk, you can reach out to us on WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is free. And of course, we're encouraging persons to call our 888-PROTECT number. But you'd appreciate that 888-PROTECT is not so easy to remember, especially for young children. The time was right for us to launch a 3-digit line that would be easy for children to remember, easy for everybody to remember.
Still, the 888-PROTECT helpline has been in effect for quite some time now. So, what exactly will this new 211 line mean for its operation?
So, the 888-PROTECT number is still in operation. What we actually did was put the 211 onto the 88-PROTECT, if that makes any sense. So, if you call either number, they both terminate at the same place. So the calls will come into the same lines. But what we're hoping is that as time progresses, more and more persons will become aware of 211, and we will eventually phase out the 888-PROTECT.
And here's the best part about this new response to child abuse. There are designated officers who are armed with the right toolkit to manage these calls.
So we already had a system at the National Children's Registry for manning the 888-PROTECT line. In addition to 888-PROTECT, we had a number of other lines that persons could call. So what we did was just to boost that system to ensure that when the calls come into 211, we would be able to handle them. So we have a set of trained registration officers. They're social workers, who are equipped to handle the calls when they come in. They're trained in how to handle various types of callers. They're trained with skills of assessment, and they would do the necessary referrals to the investigating partners.
These partners are required to initiate an investigation and provide the NCR with an update within 3 months. Furthermore, the NCR's contact center will be expanded to provide immediate psychotherapeutic response for children who may call for help. This is being done under the Public Sector Modernization Program through the ICT Expansion Program currently being rolled out by the Ministry of Finance's Transformation and Implementation Unit, TIU.
Anyone in Jamaica, Madam Speaker, can take up their phone and dial 211. You can be a partner in carrying the message to rescue our children.
And we do mean anyone, from any network, at any time.
We actually, met with the telecommunications providers, came to some agreement, and this is how we'll be proceeding in the interest of the nation's children. So the 211 is completely free, regardless of what network you're calling from.
Our nation's children are our priority, and this is being reflected in the CPFSA's targeted programs and services to respond effectively to the needs of vulnerable children and their families. The 211 helpline is just the latest step in the right direction. If you know of or suspect that a child is being abused, reach out to the CPFSA or call 211.
Technology development continues to be a major chord being struck by our government, and its response as a crime-fighting tool is reaping rewards. Here's one way in which the Jamaica Social Investment Fund is helping to make the lives of Jamaicans safer through technology.
The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, is helping to build safer communities through the Jamaica Crime Observatory Enhancement Project. Established in 2011, the Jamaica Crime Observatory is a web-based crime and violence data bank hosted by the Ministry of National Security.
The project is seeking to enhance the capacity of the Ministry of National Security, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and a number of other stakeholders in their response to data collection, data entry, data dissemination, and data analysis. This is a World Bank funded initiative. It is valued at 44 million Jamaican dollars.
The upgrade to the system falls under JSIF's Integrated Community Development Project, ICDP. The aim of the ICDP is to improve basic infrastructure and social services delivered to 18 targeted at-risk communities. JSIF seeks to use data from the Crime Observatory to inform the planning of social and technical interventions to be implemented in these communities. To ensure a concerted approach towards crime prevention and management, a number of government entities supply statistics to the Crime Observatory. These include the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Ministry of Health, the Registrar General's Department, and the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine.
We collect data from murder statistics to sexual offenses, suicide, traffic fatalities, hospital data, fatal shootings for various parishes in Jamaica.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, is the primary source of data for the observatory. Under the project, the Statistics and Information Management Unit of the JCF has received handheld GPS devices to assist in increasing the accuracy of data collected.
From the perspective of the crime scene, the forensic crime scene analysts utilize the handheld devices provided by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund to map the exact location of each crime. The devices are also able to take photographs of the environment within which the crime occurred. With that information, the analysts are allowed or able to get a better context within which the crime occur. And that has been very significant in our analysis process.
In addition, the gadget also assists us to be able to do analysis, temporal analysis of the time crime take place. If you plot those information on a graph, you can see over a period of time, you can be able to determine trend, so you can do trend analysis.
As part of the JSIF funding, the unit also received laptops, desktop computers, firewall devices, servers, UPS devices, and software packages to improve the efficiency of processing the data collected.
It allows us to provide data to the Crime Observatory in a much faster turnaround time than the monthly cycle that we usually provide the data to the Crime Observatory.
Additionally, 2 data entry clerks have been employed by the unit to assist with the timely input of information into the system. The Ministry of National Security will also receive funding to engage the services of a crime analyst.
What the engagement of the crime analyst will do is that they will help with better forecasting and predicting utilizing data which is in the Crime Observatory.
The project, which started in 2017, will also fund the training of 7 Ministry of National Security staff and 8 persons from the Jamaica Constabulary Force in the areas of system maintenance, spatial analysis, and the use of ArcGIS software technology. Improvements to the Jamaica Crime Observatory are essential to various stakeholders in the formulation of policies and strategies to keep Jamaicans safe.
What the Crime Observatory is able to do is provide us with good, timely, accurate data for us able to craft our policies, and from crafting our policies we're able to then craft acceptable strategies to help with the crime and violence and citizen security.
With geographic information system, we can actually pinpoint the exact location of a crime. We can pinpoint the area, such as a shop or a bar, that is likely to be affected by a particular type of crime, which means that we can practice preventative policing. We can actually preempt what is likely to take place, put in strategy in order to prevent those occurrences.
Through the Jamaica Crime Observatory Enhancement Project, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund is enhancing the efficient collection and analysis of crime and violence statistics, building on the capacity of the government to better plan crime-fighting strategies.
Where, after all, do universal rights begin? In small places, close to home. Eleanor Roosevelt. Here's my closing question. What small space are you changing to achieve human rights? That's your bit of food for thought as we leave you today. But we return to your homes, offices, and screens tomorrow at the same time. Until then, we encourage you to re-watch this and other episodes and features on our YouTube channel, and visit our Facebook page, Instagram, as well as Twitter for more information. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. See you next time.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.